Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, we'll be joined by Roxane Benvenuti from the Schaumburg Special Events Office. Then we'll talk to Martin Metreger and Martha Dooley about the annual recycling event. We'll close out the program by catching up with Rob Pileckis from the Prairie Center for the Arts. All of this and more here today on Speaking of Schaumburg. Schaumburg is once again proud to be hosting its annual Volunteer of the Year Award Luncheon. Here to tell us more about this is Special Events Coordinator Roxane Benvenuti. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you for having me for this
Tell me
event.
about this Volunteer of the Year. I mean, how many years has this been going on?
This will be the 29th year for Volunteer of the Year, and it's Schaumburg's way of recognizing all of those who volunteer in our community, because we do believe that too much volunteerism goes unrecognized, and we'd like to, in some small way, recognize those that do so much service to our community by recognizing them at an annual
How many years
luncheon.
have you been doing this?
Oh, quite a lot.
And if somebody wanted to nominate somebody, what would they do? What's the process and the procedure?
The process to nominate someone, easiest way is to go online at our website, prairiecenter.org, and they click on Volunteer of the Year, and a form comes up, and they basically fill out the person they'd like to nominate, just their basic contact information, and then the nominator's contact information, and then they write a small summary detailing the work that the individual or the organization has done. And the judges typically like to look for how long the person has been volunteering, the different areas that they volunteered at. Some people volunteer at more than one location, and the type of work that they've done. Any facts and figures that they can include about the person is helpful to the judges when they're making their tough decisions.
Where's the luncheon?
So the luncheon is at Chandler's Banquets in Schaumburg. We're very happy that they work with us very well on providing a wonderful atmosphere and a beautiful room that's been recently redone, and it's very nice staff, and the food's always great.
Typically, how many people do you have nominated? What's?
It depends on the year, depends on who nominates, but I would say there's usually about a dozen individuals. We have 3 categories.
Okay.
You can nominate an adult, an organization, or a youth. So we usually have, about I would say between 5 and 12 nominees in each category each year. For that, the one category that still I'd like to see more nominees is the youth category, though. I know from, I work with student volunteers, and I work with the Miss Septemberfest Court, and I hear that all that these kids are involved in their clubs, activities, jobs, honors programs. It's amazing. I don't know when these kids sleep, a lot of them, the amount of things that they're involved in. And so it just takes a teacher or a neighbor or a counselor, a priest, anyone that just could take a few minutes and write a little something about that person to get them nominated. And it's quite nice because everyone gets a certificate for being nominated, and then the judges
They get a plaque too, right?
Yeah, the judges choose one winner in each category, and that person gets a plaque. But everyone gets a certificate of recognition along with lunch compliments of the village.
Who are these judges? Who does the judging?
Somebody I know quite well chooses those judges each year, but typically we have people that are involved in the community, possibly a reporter, a priest, or someone that works very closely with not-for-profit organizations in the community. So it's a tough job for them because they read through these great nominations and they have the difficult task of selecting just one.
What's the deadline for nominating?
Deadline is usually April 1st, which is the case this year.
We'll extend that a little bit, won't we?
Well, they'll be meeting and choosing those winners the following week. I like to give them about a week to read over the nominations, and then they meet and discuss and come to an agreement. And very, very often,
yes,
if there's like maybe 2 people they really like, I encourage people, if your person didn't win this year, to nominate them again in a future year, because it might just be the competition that they have, but they might win in a future year.
Who are some of the names of some of the winners of, or I shouldn't say winners, but those who are being recognized? Name some folks from years past.
Oh, there's quite a number of them, and I actually listed them on our website because I did want their names to be out there and seen and recognized, and different people. And we do have people that have won in the past that still attend the luncheon every year, which is quite nice. Going back to the beginning, we've had Jarnette Dill and Pete Justin and different organizations, the JCs, the Sons and Daughters of Italy, Rotary Club, Lions Club. All those groups over the years have won at some point usually, and usually attend the luncheon, which is nice to.
Yeah, I would say.
To still continue going.
It's nice to get together, and certainly, as you pointed out, recognition. Some of these folks, they never get recognized for the good work they do.
Yeah, and what's really fun and interesting is when a former winner pays it forward and takes the time to nominate somebody. That's happened a couple times.
What are some of the folks that you've had speak at the luncheon?
The way the luncheon works is that we, have our welcoming remarks. We have a fabulous lunch, and then we have a keynote speaker, usually somebody that speaks on the topic of something that's motivational, inspirational, giving back to the community, something that touches on volunteering. We try to keep it somewhat short, between 10 and 20 minutes, so that we can move on to the award ceremony, because that's what everybody's excited about, hearing about, knowing about. And then since it is during the week, most people have to get back to work, so we try to keep it.
Who are some of these guest speakers?
Oh, in the past?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, there's so many.
Well, then you should be able to tell me about a half a dozen, right?
Oh, yes. We've had, I remember the days when we had Mike Singletary, we had Dolores Jordan, Bob Love, Wayne Mesmer.
But typically it's an inspirational speaker. But
Right.
you've got spouses of people who've done wonderful things. Is that correct?
Yes. So, for example, this year we have we hired a speaker through a speaker bureau, and we found over the years too. Sometimes it's fun to hire someone that's kind of well known with a name that people would know, but sometimes the better speakers are people that's what they do for a living. They are speakers, and they might not have name recognition or any celebrity type status, but those people tend to do the best speeches because that's what they do for a living. So this year, that's what we're doing.
Who is it?
We just recently booked, her name is Laura Geminder, and she works in the field of speaking on various topics for municipalities, not-for-profits, corporations, on various topics. And topic for us is volunteering, giving back, just really getting people fired up and motivated to get out there and volunteer themselves.
You can do that, can't you? They could volunteer themselves or their spouses, right? Mm-hmm. Or their siblings or their grandkids or. Yeah,
it's just wide age, range of ages of volunteers that we try to honor and recognize.
It's good work. It's really good work. Schaumburg has a lot of good people volunteering a lot of time, and certainly yourself and your staff help an awful lot to make it happen. I know you're involved with Septemberfest, and if you're talking about volunteers, you've got 200 volunteers
at
there.
least. Yeah.
So
the committee itself is a group of volunteers, and then all the volunteers who just volunteer for that specific
weekend. I would advise you to contact the chair of that and the Septemberfest committee and say, get me some names. Who are some of these folks who've gone?
Sometimes chairmen have a hard time singling one individual out.
That's true.
They want to recognize everyone.
Thanks, Roxane.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you taking the time to come out.
We look forward to those nominations coming in.
Me too. Okay. A sure sign that spring is here is Schaumburg's annual recycling event. Learn more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. It's time to tackle that spring cleaning project. Many of those unwanted items can be recycled through Schaumburg's annual recycling event. Here to tell us about it is Martin Metreger and Martha Dooley. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. Tell me what you guys do. Recycling event, where is it? Who takes part in it? How successful has it been?
Well, the recycling event this year, it's on April 23rd. It's over at the School District 54, their administrative building, which is at 524 East Schaumburg Road. The event runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we're recycling everything from electronics, book recycling, document destruction. We're doing 2-box limit per car, that is. And then we're also doing clothing, textiles, batteries, holiday light strands, copper wiring, motor oil, antifreeze, and then we even do bicycles, compact fluorescent light bulbs, and then cell phones, eyeglasses, flags, American flags, and fire extinguishers. The books were first time last year, and we had astonishing, we about 3,400 books that we actually
Really?
collected at last year's event.
We're talking about hardcover, soft cover, but both?
Anything that's a book that's in good shape will take, and even if it's in bad shape, we'll take it. And Scarce is the organization that will take the books, and the ones that are bad, they'll recycle for paper, and the good ones, they'll redistribute one way or the other.
Martha, can you add to that?
Well, the event started in 2007 at the request of one of our trustees to offer some electronics and paper shredding.
Who was that?
It was George Dunham.
Okay.
And so
A little shout out to you, George.
we started in 2007. At that time, we didn't count any cars or anything, but we did recycle or collect about 9,300 pounds of electronics and 3,200 pounds of paper shredding of documents.
How about TV sets? I read somewhere in the local paper that they're having a hard time relocating those.
They're a very hard thing to recycle these days. Actually, about 95% electronics that are taken in have a negative value at this time. It used to be, it had such a positive value that we would get money back. But because of the change in the market, metal is only worth about 1 cent per pound as compared to 8 cents per pound a few years ago. So, it actually costs to recycle, and televisions is a large amount of cost because of the fact that it has lead inside the tube itself, and they have to take precautions to extract the lead without affecting, the employees that actually take.
But you'll take lead. Excuse me, not lead, but you'll take TV sets.
We
right?
are taking the televisions this year. It's just costing the village some money to do so. So,
Sure.
But it's really important to give the residents opportunities to do this because it's getting harder and harder to find places that'll take televisions just because of that.
How many years have you been doing this, Martha?
So we started in 2007, and we've been doing it ever since. Now we have, last year's total, we had about 1,700 cars go through the event. We collected about 97,000 pounds of electronics and about 19,000 pounds of shredded documents.
Wow.
And along with the entire list that Martin's gone through. So the event has actually grown significantly over the years.
And what are the hours of the event?
It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
What's the best time to bring your recyclables?
Well, everybody
There.
seems to think that 10 a.m. is the best time to come, and then we end up with
traffic backs up on Schaumburg Road.
It does back up on Schaumburg Road. So we try to make sure we're ready ahead of time, so when we open up, we get the flow going quick as possible. So, I found that actually around noon to about 1 o'clock isn't too bad because I think people are going to lunch or something like that. It dies off a little bit, and then it picks up toward the end, those last minute people,
Who actually works on site?
That's a great question. We have volunteers from CPAS, Citizen Police Academy, alumni, Alumni Association of Schaumburg. And then School District 54 has a few people that work there. Our Schaumburg Environmental Committee, all of them, they actually take a big part of this event where they help us decide how we're going to recycle stuff. Over the years, they recommended certain things to recycle at the event, and then we just found places to take the stuff and added it to the event itself. So who else am I missing?
No, I think that's about good. We do take some volunteers that call to the village looking for things to do around Earth Day because we do offer this event as a celebration of Earth Day, which is on April 22nd. It's just the day before the event actually this year. Another thing that's interesting to note is we actually find that it only takes about 8 to 10 minutes to cycle through the entire recycling event once the people hit the driveway to the School District 54 property. So once they get in there, even though there are so many different things and the list of recyclable items is so diverse, they still cycle through the parking lot, dropping off all the materials in a relatively short period of time. So we've done a lot over the past few years, and the addition to School District 54's parking lot has really helped us to be able to get people through the event quickly.
What won't you take? I mean, you listed a whole array of things here that you do. What won't you take?
So there's a lot of things that we won't take. Hazardous waste is a big one. Other than the oil and antifreeze, we won't take paint. We won't take paint thinners, any kind of...
You'll take paint if it's solidified though, right?
No, we won't take paint at this event. It was a requirement of School District 54 not to have the paint on their property, So,
Why is that?
It's because, they have a fairly new parking lot. They just don't want it leaking out. We do offer an event in the fall, though. We had our first paint and document shred day last year in the fall, and we plan on having another one this fall as well.
Where's that located?
At the ballpark, that extra overflow lot across the street from the ballpark in Schaumburg.
Okay. Boomer Stadium?
Yeah, Boomer Stadium. Yeah,
okay.
So.
What kind of turnout do you get there typically?
What was our turnout like?
Last year we had about 140 cars for the paint. We recycled about 140 gallons, so it was about 1 gallon per car. But at that event, we also do paper shredding. And last year we collected about 5,200 pounds we did document shredding there.
Wow.
And we're hoping that will alleviate a little bit of the pressure in the spring at that event with the document shredding, because we have so much in the spring.
What kind of feedback do you get from folks who have waited in line for, for 20 minutes or half an hour?
Very positive. The traffic does back up a little bit on Schaumburg Road, so people are mildly inconvenienced by that. But if they were to come later in the afternoon, say even after 2 o'clock, the lines are very short. You can get right in. Otherwise, we get so many positive comments of feedback as they're leaving the event, and especially in the fall with the paint, which was a new item for us this year. The people leaving that event were very, very happy that the village sponsored that.
Where do you draw from? Who's your client? So is it just Schaumburg or no? Or
the recycling events are open to anyone.
Okay.
So we don't restrict it. In the fall, I think
we restrict the document shredding to Schaumburg residents because Schaumburg pays for it. So, but in this event, it's just too much to try to look at driver's licenses. So
I'm not suggesting that. I'm just curious as to what kind of.
It's community-wide. So because we team up with the Schaumburg Township District Library and School District 54, they, obviously they're part of neighboring communities. So this is a community-wide event, and so we definitely draw from all the neighboring cities and villages. So.
And it keeps that stuff out of landfills, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's really important. And of course, it's very easy way to take care of a lot of different things at one event.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, people really appreciate that, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. They got my old paint cans and put that date on my calendar. Hey, Marty, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Martha.
Pleasure.
Once again. How are your bees doing, by the way?
Well, I just checked my beehives yesterday, and I'm disappointed to say over the last 2 weeks I lost 2 hives of my 3 at home. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep us tuned in.
I will.
Thank you. The Prairie Center for the Arts will be hopping this month. Learn more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. There are some great upcoming events at the Prairie Center for the Arts. Rob Pileckis joins us to tell us about what's coming up. Rob, what's coming up?
What's coming up? April's a great month at the Prairie Center because we have events that are, our programming. We had a lot of great shows this year. Hubbard Street 2 was here. We just had the Reduced Shakespeare Company, so a lot of great stuff. And then April, we have some of the stuff that some of the programs that we produce in house, and we're really excited about those. So where should I start? Well, come wine with me If this hasn't happened, for people aren't watching this after April 9th, they can still come to Come Wine With Me, a benefit for the Prairie Center. It's on Saturday, April 9th. It's a wine tasting party. So you can have wine, you can have spirits, you can have beer, microbrews, and some bites from some local restaurants. So that's a great event. This Saturday, April 9th, tickets are only $35 for that. Cheaper than any dinner you're going to have around here. So.
And who's supplying the dinners?
There are a number of restaurants. I don't have the full list in front of me, but I believe. Let me see who else. Oh, I know that
Sam and Harry's, right?
Sam and Harry's, and who's the new burger joint in town?
Kuma?
Kuma's Corner is going to have
Kuma's
something. There are a
really?
couple others. So we're, check out the website at Prairie Center, PCAFoundation.org, Prairie Center Arts Foundation, and you can see all the restaurants that are going to be participating. So I say check that out. It's a Saturday night, a great date night, great party night, great fun night. And you're going to taste some beers and wines that you haven't had before. So that's good. And then we get into some really fun stuff. It's going to be our 10th annual Screen Test Student Fest.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It is our, and we've told this story before, that Jay Flynn, who was a Schaumburg resident, he was a 7th grader, wrote to our then village manager, was suggesting that we have a film festival because Schaumburg is a festive town. And so we thought, all right, well, let's give it a shot. And 10 years later, we have a very highly respected and highly sought after film festival for a lot of the kids who want to get into it.
How many films did
we received?
And where are they from?
Oh, all over the world. We received over 200 submissions, about 213 to be exact, and they came from every major continent except for Antarctica. So we got films from Australia, from China, from Iran, from Pakistan, from Russia, from England, from pretty much everywhere. South America, Brazil, and then it's our job. We have a team of judges who look at these movies and determine which of those 213 are going to make it into the festival.
Where are the judges from?
So the judges are all either arts affiliated or film and video affiliated. So they're professionals in the area. Some of them teach film, some of them teach video, some of them actually work in the industry, some of them are reviewers, some of them really just people who have a good sense for film.
What kind of age group do you?
Well, I'll tell you, we have three events that day. This is on Saturday, April 16th. We've got a Screen Test Junior. Did I mention Screen Test Student Fest? That's the name of the festival, Screen Test Student Fest. And so in the morning, we have 11 a.m., we have Screen Test Junior. And these are going to be films by students in grades 5 through 8. All right, so younger filmmakers, but you'd be surprised at how proficient they are with a camera. And then at 2 o'clock, we're going to have our Matinee Internationale, which is films from all over the world. This is a non-competitive exhibition. We're going to be showing films from China, from South America,
Australia,
from Australia, I believe one from India or Pakistan. And it's just amazing. What I love about these movies is they show a slice of life that we don't really see here. Even on the news, I think, which filters quite a bit. This really shows it as it happens. It's not. There's no giant network. There's no big news agency. These are just people making movies about themselves, and it's really exciting to watch that. And it really is eye-opening. You really learn a lot.
How many films do you review?
Well, I'll tell you, it's really hard because we only have, for Screen Test Junior, we only can show about 7 films. For the matinee, we only have a room for 11 or 12. And then for the evening festival, which is the big high school competition, we're going to only show about 11 or 12 movies. So I think 12 to be exact.
How long are these films?
So they're all under 10 minutes. They're short. Okay, so they got to tell a story in a very short time. Most of them are about 5 minutes long. And they tell these beautiful, one of the judges was looking at one of the films, I can't say which one it was, but she said, all right, I cried. I just cried, And that's amazing that a high school student could make something that moving.
Evoke that kind of emotion.
To evoke that kind of emotion, and it happens. And I think 8-9 years ago when the festival was young, we were a little hungrier. We didn't get as many movies as we used to. We still had good films, but now the competition is really tough, and that allows us to pull from the cream of the crop to show these amazing films.
What do the filmmakers get? Is there some kind of prize? Or?
You bet there is. For the morning show from grades 5 through 8, you can get a $100 grand prize. In the evening competition, that's for high schoolers, we have the best in show is $500 right off the bat. So, and then the second prize is $250, then $150. Then we have production values. That we have a number. We're giving away a lot of money.
How about sponsors?
We got two fantastic sponsors. Our title sponsors, Tribeca Flashpoint College, which is a fantastic film and video school in Chicago. They're our title sponsor. And then we also have a local sponsor. It's 3MA Studios, Three Monkeys and Aardvark Studios.
Oh, sure. It's Ben Olsen.
Yeah, it's Ben Olsen, a wonderful guy. And he really wanted to get behind it, too. And he has been for a couple of years. He's really helped us out. And so they're what we call a director sponsor. They're a major sponsor, and they've really been terrific. So we've got sponsors. You know, we have that we'll have a red carpet reception in the evening, so people can walk down the red carpet. It's a big event.
You have pictures taken too, don't you?
And yeah, we have what they call a step and repeat wall. It's those backdrops that have all the logos on them, and so you can kind of feel a little bit like a movie star and stand in front of them, and people can take your picture in front of them. So we like to have a great time with it. All the filmmakers are there. They come up to answer questions about their movies, and then filmmakers who are from out of state, we connect with them via Skype. So we're actually talking to people in maybe Los Angeles or Canada on a live video feed. So it's really exciting to talk to these people from anywhere in the world.
What kind of audience do you have?
So we have, well, I tell you, we stream it live, and we also have an audience in house. We get a great house. It's really, it's just an exciting event. It's unique, and I think we're starting to get more and more of our subscribers, the Prairie Center subscribers, who come to this show and think, well, this is going to be just a bunch of kids films, but when they come, they're amazed at what they see, and they keep coming back for more. So that audience is great.
How many repeats do you get typically?
So
people who
filmmakers?
Yeah.
Rarely. We have one student who's going to be in it his third year. He's a fantastic filmmaker from Naperville, and he's very serious about his craft, and we rarely get a third time repeater. So he's remarkably talented. So it doesn't happen too often. It's getting harder and harder. If you're a good filmmaker, you might get bumped. We've had students, unfortunately, who were in last year who didn't make it back this year.
Really?
So the real world's tough out there. So
sounds like an exciting evening.
It's really an exciting evening, and tickets are dirt cheap. They're $10 for adults, $5 for kids or seniors or students.
How do they get these tickets?
They can go online, prairiecenter.org. They can call us at 847-895-3600, or they can buy them at the door. If they want to come to the full day, we have the 5 through 8 graders, Screen Test Junior, the international matinee in the evening. I think it's $15 for an adult for the whole day, or $10. So it's a full day of movies for the price of a lunch.
And what do you do?
So, I'm up there talking to the filmmakers. That's kind of the perk of being one of the coordinators of the festivals. I get to stand behind the podium and interview the kids and really kind of get into their brains a little bit and see what inspired them to make these movies.
Sounds like an exciting evening.
It really is. And
exciting day.
It's an exciting day, and what really is the exciting part is to see these kids experience their own films being projected in a big screen in the Prairie Center. It looks great, it sounds great, and it's such a unique opportunity for them. So we love it. We absolutely love it. So.
Rob.
Can I talk about Senior Follies real quickly?
Yes, quickly.
On the next day, on the 17th, Senior Follies, the best talented seniors in the area, will perform for us at the Prairie Center. That's Sunday the 17th at 2 o'clock. $5 a ticket. Senior Follies. Don't want to miss it. It's going to be a fantastic show.
I'll be there.
You'll be there. Yeah. I hope so.
I hope so, too.
All right.
That'll do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for an all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.